Right on Tryon and go up and then right on 11th Street.
What's up on 11th Street?
Entrance to 277.
Okay.
And there's Duckworth's.
Yep.
I might go to the one by us sometime soon for a chorizo burger. I would come to this one independently, but they still have that library construction. It's a pain in the ass. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's that?
Some dumbass in a crotch rocket who ran a red light.
Oh.
Ninth.
Oh, I remember walking through here.
There's a bar here.
Yeah.
Lounge CLT.
Huh?
Lounge CLT.
I remember walking through. Remember we were on the art walk?
Yeah.
I said, well, damn. This isn't the Tryon Street I thought we were going to. There was no cars.
Is this 11? Is this 11? I can't see shit, man.
You're just like me.
I mean, I had somebody's light, and this is College Street.
Here you go across it.
I must have fucked up somewhere.
No, 11th intersects College. If it's 10th, it'll run into Central and you just
Left
go...
lane.
Huh?
Left lane, the inner.
Oh, yeah, this is 11th. I could tell by this hill and the,
See, now I can see the freeway entrance.
Lainey was all excited because she was going to stay with Ashley and Cole tonight. Hey, Cole says, I will say, says, he's going to take me and Dude on the boat next Sunday. He
I'll
says.
believe that when I see it.
Huh?
I believe that when I see it.
I thought the same thing too, but I'm like, yeah, dude, I would be definitely down for it.
I don't even know how to go here. There's Independence.
You can go
on-
either Independence or 77, either way.
Yeah.
Huh?
Harder's way up on 75.
No, you need.
Shit, lights were
Huh?
off. Lights were off.
Oh.
Boom, 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 boom.
Did you get to see me have fun?
Yeah, but you get lost a lot of times. And when you hooked up with those Caribbean chicks, that's when you had the most fun.
Yeah. How'd you know? Huh?
So I was watching.
Because you know your son, don't you? love you too, Daddy. Huh? That was so much fun.
Cedric helped.
Huh?
Cedric helped. Damn headache.
That was nice. Hey.
Favorite place.
Huh?
Here's your favorite place on the right.
What? Wow, wow, wow.
Yep. That.
Key.
Pounding.
Yep. Speaking of wow, 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 we gotta sign up for Roaring Rides.
Yeah, we do.
Renee was like, "You saved me any?" I said, "Yeah, I saved you the leftovers." What?
Gotta go on Freedom Drive.
Where?
The exit to 77 was closed.
Oh. Freedom Drive. Have you heard from them
We'll
lately?
get it up there.
Huh?
We'll hit it when we get up here.
Man, Frank, like like a month and a half ago, Frank was like, oh man, remember Club 935? Like, you know, Adolf Schreiber's like, wait, shit, I know him. Frank was like, what, you know Adolf? And I was like, yeah.
I mean, been over to the house to eat.
Yeah, I told him that. And Frank was like, damn, you know Julio and Adolf. I was like, Frank knows Julio because he used to hang around Boulevard Homes.
Okay.
Well, Frank said that Julio was doing like a bunch of shady stuff. I don't know if that's true or not.
I would doubt it.
Huh?
I would not doubt it.
Well, that's why I'm saying. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not gonna say either. I'm not gonna say anything either way. Hey, here's a man's favorite street in town, Moorhead.
There's a bunch of damn food trucks here, man.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, Frank was talking about that too. No, Teresa was talking about that. About the food trucks.
Oh, shit, Joe.
What is this, Freedom?
Yeah. This is Remount.
Remount
When
Road.
possible, make a U-turn.
Oh, fuck no.
Why did you even engage that thing?
It's a cookout.
I know you
When
like that.
possible, make a
No, I'm not
U-turn.
making no damn U-turn.
Going by Teresa's old place, Ashley Road and stuff.
When
the old-
possible, make a U-turn.
Here's Compare Foods.
You heard from them lately?
Nope.
When possible, make a U-turn.
You scaled it down, I guess.
When possible, make a U-turn.
Either that or
No, I'm not making a fucking U-turn.
turn the damn thing off.
know, because I don't know. I'm looking for that Ronald Ross or whatever it is.
Down on that intersects Wilkinson.
When possible, make a U-turn.
Man, what the fuck are you doing?
You can go on Ashley or Allegheny, and either one of those will take you to Wilson or Wilkinson, and that'll intersect Donald Ross.
When possible, make a U-turn.
No, man. I'm going to take 85.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
When possible, make a U-turn.
Shut up.
This is Ashley.
Yeah. Now I'll take you to Wilkinson. Wilkinson will take you to Donald Ross if you want to do that.
Nah, I'm going on 85. I fucked up. They fucked me up, and then I fucked up some more.
Oh. Well, fucking each other is how the next generation gets created. Right?
Yeah.
When possible, make a U-turn.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Teresa lives all the way on Rosas. I want to go see her soon. She said that she picked that house because it was even better for throwing parties.
Oh.
Keep right after 1 mile onto Billy Graham Parkway toward Billy Graham Parkway.
Why? Because Billy Graham will take you down Woodlawn. There's a bunch of traffic lights. Hey, Daddy. My buddy Paul told me another joke yesterday. I always wonder what those little tiny bridges all over the interstate system are. the same way, almost the same way we go to Cavendish, ain't it?
Yep. Backwards.
Yep. I'm trying to convince dude when he goes and plays cards to drop me at Cavendish and either eat over there with me or just leave me there with my buddies. Or I know some people from Cavendish, but not as many as Jack Beagles.
That the current trade talks on these tariffs would not go on if there wasn't a ceasefire. Both countries, Cambodia and Thailand, are very exposed to the US market. They're currently facing a 36% tariff, so in a way that threat, I think, will be the deciding factor.
The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, is in Scotland for trade talks with President Trump. They will be meeting at Mr. Trump's golf resort at Tambury. James Cook reports.
Minutes after arriving in Scotland on Friday, Donald Trump was talking about the potential for a trade deal between the United States and the European Union, telling reporters there was a 50-50 chance of reaching an agreement. Brussels, he claimed, wanted to make a deal very badly. Senior EU officials are also sounding positive about the prospect of establishing at least the framework of a pact. If the talks collapse, though, the result could be a trade war, with Mr. Trump threatening 30% tariffs on EU goods and the EU promising to respond in kind.
World news from the BBC. A crash at a temple in northern India has resulted in many deaths. Local officials in the city of Haridwar say at least 6 people have died at the Mansa Devi temple. More than 25 others have been injured. Rescue operations are underway. Haridwar is considered a holy spot for Hindus. Greece is battling 5 major wildfires across the country, with officials evacuating residents in a region just 30 kilometers north of Athens. Fire spread rapidly through a village, Trossopigi, as strong winds fan the flames. More than 200 firefighters are still operating in the area. Greece has requested European Union assistance to tackle the spreading fires. Football and Nigeria have won their Africa Cup of Nations women's final, beating Morocco by 3-2. The match took place in the Moroccan capital, Rabat. The Moroccans, known as the Atlas Lionesses, were 2-0 up at half-time, but the Nigerians made a stunning comeback. Celestine Karame is in
hot chicks
Rabat.
too.
It was a disappointing finish for the Moroccans, who have now lost a second consecutive Women's Africa Cup of Nations final on home soil. But for some, it is a step in the right direction for women's football, which about 6 years ago was not really talked about much in this country. In the individual awards, Morocco's Gislen Chabak won the top scorer award, while Nigerians Rashidat Ajibade was the player of the tournament, and Chamaka Nadozie winning the goalkeeper of the tournament.
Cycling's most prestigious race, the Tour de France, ends today in Paris. The final stage consists of a ride of over 130 kilometres from the western suburbs of the French capital to the Champs-Élysées in the centre. The Slovenian cyclist Tadej Pogačar is poised to secure his 4th Tour de France. BBC News.
It's 7 GMT. Welcome to Weekend from the BBC World Service with me, Julia Warriger, and
So
with
it's
me throughout
3:06.
the programme, Katja Hoyer, German-British historian and writer, visiting research fellow at King's College London and a fellow of the Royal Historical Society, and Mark Kirsten, assistant professor of human rights, law and international justice at the University of the Fraser Valley in Canada, and a senior consultant at the Waiamu Foundation. Now, the Israeli military is saying that humanitarian corridors will be opened in Gaza to allow UN convoys to deliver food and medicine. The announcement comes amid increasing international anger with Israel and warnings of mass starvation of Palestinians. Airdrops of aid, including flour, sugar and canned food to northern Gaza, have also resumed. Israel's move follows a week when warnings of starvation in Gaza intensified. 9 more people died of malnutrition on Friday and a baby on Saturday, bringing the total such deaths since the war began to 125, 85 of them children, according to the Hamas-run health ministry there. Earlier on this program, I got the reaction to that from the former Israeli Prime Minister and now one of Israel's leading opposition figures, Ehud Olmert.
We have taken some measures that we didn't take before in order to enlarge the provision of humanitarian needs to the people, assuming that what we did up until then was not sufficient. So if this is an improvement, I'm very much in favor of it, which only proves that we didn't do enough until now.
I was about to suggest too little, too late, in your view?
It certainly is too late because the whole world is pissed off with us. I think that they have a good reason for it.
Well, let's cross to Jerusalem and speak to Antoine Renard, head of the Jerusalem office and chief of operations in Gaza for the UN agency, the World Food Programme. Antoine, welcome to the programme. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your reaction to this announcement from the Israelis today?
Long overdue, meaning that we've been warning and we've been systematically, raising the flag that there were not enough food getting into Gaza, and the level of despair and the status of starvation is something that we knew was going to happen given the fact that there's not food getting into Gaza.
We know as well that there will be pauses in the fighting in particular parts of Gaza over periods of time for the next few days. What difference will that make to what you're trying to do?
I mean, for us, and it's important to know that we've never stopped since the 21st of May, when we managed to reinstate some of our assistance, but with a very small window. Remember that there's been a full closure of the Gaza Strip from the 2nd of March till the 21st of May. So what we see now is that the pause will actually be something so important for population not to have daily bombing. There's no safe area into Gaza, so that's why it's so paramount. Now, what will and remain a challenge for us is that the volume that we need to bring, given the fact that there's been such a long closure, is actually the massive amount of people that are so desperate that they're rushing on convoys. So if we manage just the last week to bring around 4,200 metric tons of food within Gaza, it's again not enough because we're supposed to actually reach 62,000 metric tons every month. So what will be still a challenge for us is actually to manage to go beyond the wave of people that are rushing on any convoy coming because they're so desperate, and to restart our proper distribution system within Gaza.
Yeah, I mean, that's about keeping the people safe who are actually on the convoys, but also keeping the people safe who are desperate to get the stuff out of those convoys, isn't it?
Correct, and even our own staff. You can imagine that with the wave of people, you can imagine that many of the convoys are actually just going out of some of the checkpoints. They are still, and we were just a week ago having gunfire, even in our own vehicle, but there were also dozens of people that sadly lost their life just to try to reach a bag of wheat flour. So since Wednesday, we see, let's say, improvement, but that has to be sustained. That has been actually, it's necessary for us to have predictable, proper 100 trucks on a daily basis to make sure that people are not ready to risk their life, that they stay where they are, and that we can actually restart a proper humanitarian assistance, not just for food. It's also valid for fuel, it's valid for medical, it's valid for access to water. This is so paramount that we can restart what used to be our own system. We proved that it actually worked during the last ceasefire.
And you have talked about the scale of potential aid that's on the ground in recent times, haven't you? But you've also talked about how you can't distribute it just now.
Correct, and that has been, and that's why now the fact that we are having, let's say, proper window of opportunity, bringing food again from Egypt, having even some of the goods coming from West Bank. We're going to bring wheat flour from West Bank. What will be important is for us that while there's a pause, we are actually getting to a proper ceasefire. So like that, population can stabilize. Imagine as of today, 1 kg of wheat flour is still 15 pounds. A week ago, it was 65 pounds. It should be less than a pound on the market. That's why, beyond humanitarian assistance, commercial goods have also to be reinstated into Gaza.
A word on airdrops, because they are part of this announcement today. Do you think they're an effective approach at this point?
I mean, for us, it's the volume that is important. The way the World Food Programme is working is actually relying on trucks. They are able to bring the volume that is sufficient with 3 crossings, and if they are reliable, if we have proper working hours, it's not necessary actually to do airdrops. The challenge that you have is really to make sure that our flow of goods is being sustained, it's getting every day, and that we have safe areas for us to be able to get to the people. That is more necessary than anything else at actual time.
Thank you very much for your thoughts, Antoine Renard, head of the Jerusalem office and chief of operations in Gaza for the UN agency, the World Food Programme. You're listening to Weekend. Now, take a listen to this.
Somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
The civil rights activist Martin Luther King speaking at the Mason Temple in Memphis, Tennessee on the 3rd of April 1968 during the strike there. Now the next day he was shot dead at a motel in Memphis, and here's the then US President Lyndon Johnson addressing the nation that same night to announce his death.
America is shocked and saddened by the brutal slaying tonight of Dr. Martin Luther King. I ask every citizen to reject the blind violence that has struck Dr. King, who lived by nonviolence.
The American fugitive James Earl Ray was convicted for the assassination of Martin Luther King. While he pleaded guilty at first, just 3 days after his confession, he revoked that plea and insisted he was innocent until he died in prison in 1998. Well, this week, 57 years on from Martin Luther King's death, the US government released 200,000 FBI documents relating to the investigation of the assassination. I spoke to Lerone A. Martin, director of the Martin Luther King Jr. Research and Education Institute at Stanford University. He spent this week going through those released documents, and I asked him first, what did they reveal?
Nothing new stands out at all. Our team, for the last 72 hours, has been diligently looking through these documents, and we have not discovered anything new and nothing surprising whatsoever in the documents. There are perhaps more details, an audio interview with the brother of James Earl Ray, the assassin of Martin Luther King Jr.
Were you expecting anything surprising or new?
I was not. Given that I've researched and written on the FBI and its campaign against Martin Luther King Jr., I've done a great deal of requesting documents from the Department of Justice and the FBI using the Freedom of Information Act. There are some documents still remaining. The documents that the FBI compiled during King's life have been sealed until 2027. However, the Trump administration is seeking a court order to release those documents.
Despite the absence of anything new or surprising in your view, was it still important for these to be released now, do you believe?
I believe that government transparency is very important. And I believe that those who are being governed should be able to hold those who govern accountable. Now, in terms of the timing of these documents, I do think the timing is very peculiar. The timing of the release seems to be much more concerned about politics than it does about transparency.
What are you getting at there?
So it seems to me that perhaps the timing of these documents, as well as the accusations around President Obama and the investigation of Russian interference into the election, and also bringing up the concerns about the naming of the Washington commanders. It just felt like the Trump administration was rolling out some old, tried and true maneuvers and songs to try to distract his base and the rest of the country from the question at hand, which was around the Epstein file.
I just wanted to ask you about that particular reference you made to James Earl Ray's brother and this audio file that has emerged. This is his brother Jerry. We can have a listen to that and then we can discuss it afterwards. So here's what he said.
From what you know, Jerry, do you think that he is involved in King's killing?
I don't think he did it, and nobody else does, but it's hard to say just what the story is.
But they have his fingerprints on the gun.
Yeah, but they can't prove that gun is his, though. They said the bullet shattered, and they can't prove the bullet came on the gun. But then they say his fingerprints was on the gun, though.
But you don't think he's involved?
I don't think he was involved. I think that he was used.
So that's the view of James Earl Ray's brother, Lerone. What does the family make of what we've just heard, do you believe now?
The family has come to agree with that conclusion, and that in the 1990s, the family filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and in a court in Memphis agreed with them, and that there was a broader conspiracy around the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. So the family has come to believe that James Earl Ray was not the shooter.
But the family still opposed the release of these latest files, didn't it?
Part of it is that, when it comes to these releases, one never quite knows exactly what's going to be in them. All of us would be wise to understand that the FBI, beginning most readily and intensely in 1963, began a campaign against Martin Luther King to discredit him. And that campaign, as they state in their own documents, could not rely on evidence or testimony that would stand up in a court of law or before our congressional committee. The FBI had planned to do any and everything that it could, what they called a no-holds-barred campaign against Martin Luther King Jr., and it continued again even after his death. So I think when these documents and the documents in 2027 are released, we have to be clear about what we're reading and what is the motivation and the genesis of some of this information.
Lerone A. Martin, director of the Martin Luther King Jr. Research and Education Institute at Stanford University. Katya, I'd imagine as a historian, the moment you hear that there's going to be a bunch of files released on anything, that your interest is sparked.
Yeah, this certainly gets our eyes lighting up. I mean, as a historian, I'd always rather have access to files than have them locked away. But as we've just heard, even this sort of seemingly innocuous act of releasing files can have political implications and political motivations, and I think people should be conscious of that, of the timing and also of the way in which this was released, and of the way, as we've just heard, in which the files were compiled in the first place, what's actually in it and why is it there. So in this case, critics probably have a point when they say that the timing seems to distract from current political conflicts and issues. And on the flip side, the family will worry that the image of Martin Luther King may be tarnished by some of the additional attention, some of the details that may be in it.
That man was what a man should be. He stood up for what he believed was right.
Him as a figure. And anything that puts sort of nuance or kind of morally, politically messy details to it will worry families and supporters. So it's always a bit of a double-edged sword.
Mark, was that what struck you, the reaction of the family here, who are clearly seriously doubtful about the merits of this?
Yeah, I know there's some divisions in the family, and some family members were quite happy that these records were released. Others were concerned. And
bless you, Daddy.
Yeah, I guess in some ways I'm interested as to why. What is the concern? Because in a sense, from what I can gather, and of course we haven't gone through, and people haven't gone through all of the records yet, but the entity that looks the worst in all of this is, as the report just said, the FBI, which was trying to intimidate and monitor and spy on civil rights activists and heroes. So I suppose I'm curious about what the
Thank you, Daddy.
Joe?
Yeah?
I believe we have properly celebrated your
Yep, we put the crown on it.
birthday.
Yeah, we put the crown on it, didn't we?
322. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I always get I'm starting to get recognized in Prohibition now. People I danced with a couple months ago, people I saw at Jack Beagle. People saw me at Jack Beagle's last night, and I didn't get to meet her, but she said, "Oh, I saw you cutting up last night." My legs are going to be paperweight tomorrow.
You want water with it?
Yes, please.